had a weird shower thought today. Well, shower
thoughts?
Shower memory, I guess.
More
of a shower memory. Don't make it weird. Okay, long story short, I was in the shower and I don't know, the thought train went, but I just realized today that Nathan Lane is in Austin Powers Gold member.
He is?
Yeah, I think so. Remember that scene where he's meeting up with Foxy Cleopatra? And
my fucking God.
That's him, right?
Yes, it is.
I never realized that.
That's mouthing
what Beyonce's saying.
Yes.
I don't know why it popped in my head, but I went, holy shit, that's Nathan Lane.
That
I never realized it until today.
What? Oh my! I didn't I mean, I think I found the humor in that when I was a kid, but I don't know. It's kind of weird to think about now. Like, that's even funnier to me. I mean, just maybe because I have more of respect for Nathan Lane.
Yep. Totally. Yeah.
No, and then he kisses him at the end.
Yeah, he makes out with him, and then he gets when he gets pushed off, he's all hot and bothered, like. I don't know why that popped in my head today, but it did.
Well, cool. I guess that's our intro.
This is Tommy.
This is Jacob.
This is Tommy and Jacob's mixtape. Hello, everyone.
Hello, welcome to the show.
Welcome.
I will be talking like this for the entire recording.
No, you will not. You will do no such goddamn thing.
This is...
I already broke my roll.
I can't even figure out the accent I am trying to do. It's almost like a Russian.
I was going to try not to swear and immediately swore. But I was going to try and change it to like, frack! And doggone it, or whatever.
Gosh darn it, man.
Yeah. Flip.
Oh, no, guys. Oh. All right, so we're doing a review today. We're doing a movie review. Yeah, we got to stay on track. God damn it. So today we are doing a movie review of Jordan Peele's sophomore film, Us.
What'd you call it?
Sophomore? Is it second?
Never. Is that like an actual term, or is it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I never heard
like
that
their
before.
sophomore album.
Yeah, that makes
your sophomore year.
Second, got it.
Yeah.
Us, 2019, released March 22nd.
Yes. Oh, I didn't write down the time. I generally do that. It's also we have stuff
upgraded
on a screen.
Yeah.
I don't want to say that we upgraded. Is more like we discovered.
We're utilizing the things that we have at our...
And nobody can see it, so let's not worry about talking about the screen that we have in this room now.
Oh, wow.
Anywho, as I vomit.
We're up to it. Don't worry. They can't see you vomit, so there's no reason talking about it.
Okay. So yeah, Us, March 22nd, 2019. It said it's got a 6.8 on IMDb. And looking up the box office, it was actually the same for in-year and calendar year. It placed in 12th. Like the same.
Yeah. And also I actually went into the worldwide too. I looked at the not just domestic.
Oh, really?
I went into worldwide. In worldwide it was number 33.
Interesting.
Which
that's cool.
We never actually done that before.
That's kind of interesting. Like this movie, I mean, I'll get into it in my review and everything. I think it's very poignant to American culture.
Well, and also let me do the short.
Yeah.
Tommy, short word synopsis. Today is 12 words. Family stalked by murderous red jumpsuit wearing group of copycats.
Yeah. Okay. I mean that is visually what you see.
Mm-hmm. Just describe a movie.
Very broad.
Describe a movie badly. Like
I wouldn't even say that's describing it badly. That's just very much that is like an honest description of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, as I said, it is directed by Jordan Peele. Also written by Jordan Peele. I think this is our first time really doing it's like strictly writer and director only, like not another writer.
Oh, not like a director that also wrote.
Yeah, and
with
because
other
like
people.
Spike Lee did, like he wrote To Five Bloods, but he had someone else.
He
with
had writers
him.
with him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Well, also like all three: director, writer, and producer.
Yeah. So like, and his only other directing credit before this was Get Out, and it only has one more that's like untitled. It isn't out yet.
Oh yeah.
This is literally like the only, like there's 2 movies you can watch directed by Jordan Peele. This and Get Out. But writing, he's done a lot of writing.
Oh well, and also it's like comedic.
Oh yeah, I mean
Comedic
which is awesome. You know, like this man who's become like very much like prolific horror writer and like director with 2 movies under his belt. Oh, well, I mean, Twilight Zone really helped with that as well, producing that and
Producing and hosting that. Have you watched the?
I have not watched it yet. I really want to. But yeah, so Jordan Peele, if you're not really familiar with his career, there's clearly the Key and Peele's show that he did with Keegan. I want to say Keegan O'Neill, but I don't think that's right. I think it's a person I know. But he was also a writer on the Mad TV sketch series from 03 to 04. He wrote Keanu that stars him and Peele from, or him and Keegan from Key and Peele. You know what that is?
No, what is that again?
They get a kitten
I meant to click.
and then name it Keanu, and then like the cat gets abducted, and it's just ridiculous.
Is it a movie?
It's a movie.
Oh.
It's a stoner movie. 100% a stoner movie. But yeah, then he's a writer on a lot of the Twilight Zone episodes. And then I wanted to just make a note of the new Candyman coming out. He's a writer on that, producer, not directing it though.
Oh, I forgot that there was a new Candyman.
Yeah, he's
it's like a
doing
reboot, right?
Yeah, it's a remake. And there's like this really strange, like I watched the trailer for it. It's like 2.5 minutes long, and it's like a paper cutout, like puppet show type thing. But you can tell like it's definitely got some like computer animation, like for like the
Is
control.
it telling like the legend of the Candyman?
Yeah,
that's kind of
cool. It was almost like a little like short, like its own like short movie.
Oh,
as a trailer, it was really cool.
So recommend checking out the Candyman
yeah,
trailer.
if you like watch the trailer for Candyman that's on IMDb, like really fucking captivating. Dude, Jordan Peele is just like, he's a very intelligent guy. He knows what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
And like there's definitely like, I remember like episodes or like skits of Key and Peele. So almost every single one of them just get me floored laughing.
I just think of the zombie one. That one gets me.
Which one's the zombie one?
Where it's like a zombie apocalypse and they're 2 survivors and they're running through, but all the zombies are racist.
Oh.
And they're avoiding them because they're black men.
That is hilarious.
These are some racist motherfucking zombies. Yeah.
The one that always like that gets me is this like baseball player who likes to play slap ass in the locker room, and eventually he like gets kind of like cut from the team or something, and they're treating like they're like talking to him like an intervention's held, like, hey man, you need to stop slapping everybody's ass. We're not digging it. We're not into it. Like, you need to stop. And he's like, all right. And then he like breaks down. And he like, it's like, it almost turns like it's an addiction for him. Like he has to slap somebody's ass. So like he starts doing it, and he's like, no, just one time. And then finally like he gets pulled out of the locker room, and then it cuts to like a couple weeks later, and it's Peele, Jordan, who's the guy who wants to slap everybody's ass, and he walks in, like he comes up to Keegan, and Keegan's leaving the locker room. He's like, hey, what's up, man? kind of scratching his arm, like, how you been doing?
Is this the meme where he's covered in sweat?
No.
Oh.
No. He's like, hey man, and like literally like it breaks into like him just like trying to get another hit of like slapping his ass, like, come on, just give me one, just give me just a little, just like, no, I'm not enabling this, man. I'm not gonna enable you. And you just, as he like walks away, just like Keegan walks away, like to just kind of like hurt, like I'm losing a friend, and like just Jordan's in the background, like, no, just give me one more. All I need is one more, and I'll be fine. It's like, it's dark. Okay, anywho, so Jordan Peele is hilarious and can write some really scary stuff. Yeah, we don't really need, like that. That's really quick for. Do you have anything else for like the writing or directing from him? Like you have a lot of. You said you did a lot of research on.
Well,
it.
I read an interview about that he did for this movie, but we can wait until we actually get. Into the movie.
So yeah, at least
it's more specifically about this.
Okay, so then yeah, we'll definitely okay, so hey, we'll plan, and everybody can hear our plan, so we know. We'll talk a little bit about the stars, and then I got a thing about development notes that might lead into that.
Okay.
And then you can talk a little bit with that, then we can go into your reviews, and then go into my review and go into the movie.
Sure, sounds good.
Is that our plan? Everybody okay with that?
Cool.
I
was about to say something really bad, but
okay.
I'll tell you later.
Okay, so yeah, so I just put like the 4 like top build stars really, because like the 2 children. I mean, if you have them, for you, I don't really. I actually didn't even look to see what else they were in, even though they're more of like more of a bigger part of the movie than Elizabeth Moss and Tim Heidecker.
Yeah, go. Well, let's just go down the list.
Yeah. So I mean, there's definitely like Lupita Nyong'o. I want to say I don't know how to really pronounce her last name.
Nyong'o.
Yeah. Oh, I was really close.
Yeah, we went on to a Golden Globes.
Cool.
And,
like things.
Now nominating.
Nyong'o.
Yeah, to make sure that we were saying So
cool.
and I put it I wrote it phonetically up here to make sure I didn't.
So yeah, Lupita Nyong'o, which really the biggest credits were Black Panther and 12 Years a Slave and Star Wars, and I don't remember her.
Who the hell is she in Star Wars?
I was looking through like her IMDb pictures or whatnot. I have no idea.
And we mean Star Wars as in the 3 new trilogy.
Yeah. I think it was just is she in all 3 of them?
She's in all 3 of them.
Who the fuck is she?
I don't know.
I couldn't find it. Like
I know,
looking at their name for it too.
A couple months ago, we were talking about these movies, and we were like, "Oh, we don't remember these movies. I don't remember these movies at all because I have no idea."
Maz Kanata. Why didn't I just look up that? Like, just look up Maz Kanata.
Maz Kanata.
Yeah, M-A-Z. Oh,
that's why we didn't recognize.
Yeah, because it's CGI. It's a CGI character.
Oh,
she just does the voice. Does she not? I mean, maybe she does the, like body capture as well.
Maybe.
As soon as we're asking who the fuck is she, I started like, oh, I wonder if she's that like old woman that had the lightsaber.
Forces of humanoid female who was born over a millennium before the brewing war between the First Order and the Resistance. Okay, that's why we didn't recognize her because you don't see her face.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. We figured it out, guys.
Yeah. I was like,
woohoo!
Still, the fact that we didn't even know the name compared to the other Star Wars movies, it shows how much we.
Well, yeah. I mean, but these new ones are just kind of like I don't know. I've watched The Last Jedi. I need to I want. That doesn't matter. We're not talking about Star Wars. We can go down that path really quickly. Black Panther took me a minute for me to recognize her, remember who she was in that. But as soon as I saw a screenshot, I was like, oh, yeah. Her character isn't as main character for the story. So it was just kind of like hard for me to remember who she was.
Yeah.
Are you just looking it up really quick?
No. Who's she in Black Panther? I'm looking up something else.
Nakia. She's the one that's Chala's like girlfriend or whatever. Or no, I guess not girlfriend, but like.
Oh yeah.
It's like I guess they're meant to be married or something.
Yeah.
She's gonna be queen or whatever. And then I haven't seen 12 Years a Slave, so.
She's also in Blackest King, which I've been meaning to watch. I haven't gotten around to it yet.
I'm not even familiar with what that is.
Beyonce's musical.
Film.
Oh,
okay.
That she did. Which I'm curious if she, because of this movie, she dances in that. Like I said, I haven't seen it, but
not sure.
That's something. And then,
but like that wasn't her dancing in this movie.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, it didn't look like her. It could have been her, I guess. I thought it was like a 14-year-old her dancing.
Oh yeah, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Yeah,
you're right.
Like, what? Yeah, and then Winston Duke, who again Black Panther. He's
yeah, he's
M'Baku, right?
Yeah,
M'Baku.
That guy's big.
I thought he was bigger. Like looking at him in Black Panther, they did a really good job of making him look.
He's still
giant.
He's still big, motherfucker.
He's not. Yeah, no, he's still a big fucking dude.
Yeah, he's
but
a big fucking dude.
Like literally looking at the difference between him and this movie, and like in Black, like whatever, like just like the gear they have, or the gear that they have on him. It's like when you put fucking armor on anybody, they're gonna look giant.
Well, even when he got laid in bed in the beginning of this, he laid down. I was like, that motherfucker needs a big bed. It's like, good thing his wife is tiny because the dude doesn't fit in this bed.
And Black Panther was really the only one that really stuck out to me. Well, and then obviously Avengers, and he only has 12 acting credits.
That's the thing. A lot of the actors in this didn't. Well, because I guess half of them are kids too.
Yeah,
the kids didn't really do a whole lot of stuff.
And like Elizabeth Moss and Tim Heidecker, like Elizabeth Moss has just been acting since she's a child, and Tim Heidecker is more of a comedic role and writer.
Oh, then also, also Winston Duke was in Modern Family, but I'm not a. I
was gonna go down that rabbit hole. I've watched a lot of Modern Family. There's there's a weird gap in the middle of like all of it, and a couple seasons that I really haven't seen much of. But I've watched, I want to say, like everything, like first 3 or 4 seasons, and then the last like 5, because I think there's like 10 or 11 seasons or 12.
So do you recognize Winston?
I didn't recognize him.
Okay. I don't watch it enough, so I have no idea. But then Elizabeth Moss, more recently in the Invisible Man remake, or I guess
it's a remake.
Yeah,
rehashed. And then A Handmaiden's Tale.
I love how I wrote Handmaidens.
Or wait, is it it's Handmaidens, not Handmaids, right?
Handmaid's Tale.
Handmaid's Tale, yeah.
I wrote Handmaiden's Tale. And that doesn't look right. All right, it's
The Handmaid's Tale. And then obviously Mad Men, she was like one of the central characters in Mad Men.
Girl Interrupted. Do you remember who she was in that?
I don't think I've actually seen that movie.
Oh, no?
Yeah.
We were trying to, because we watched that pretty regularly, and we were racking our heads. We cannot remember. And
she might be one of the younger girls that's just like a side character.
Yeah, but like the way to remember them is to remember why they're in the mental institution, and we couldn't remember what her deal was.
Okay. One of the movies that she was on there that made me realize we have an entire untapped realm of movies that we could do for reviews on. When I was talking about doing kind of like bad movies, she's in Suburban Commando with Hulk Hogan. It's got like a 4.6 on IMDb. Hulk Hogan plays like a space warrior that comes down to Earth and starts and becomes like a
take me to your leader, brother,
and essentially like becomes like a babysitter for these kids. And
she's one of the kids.
She's one of the kids. Yeah, it's like early '90s. Hulk Hogan. He was one of the first like big wrestling. I mean, Andre the Giant, obviously, but Andre the Giant really, like, his claim to fame for acting was only just like Princess Bride. But Hogan tried to be a Hollywood actor, and it was bad. It was really bad. We don't really get like good wrestling actors until like The Rock started to like transition, and now we got Batista and
Cena.
He's comedic gold. I will give that.
I like ever since I saw Sisters.
Dude,
that's my favorite.
Him in Trainwreck with Amy Schumer.
I didn't like that movie. I remember him being really, because he's like closeted, right?
Yeah, well, yeah.
Is that like the joke?
That's the joke, and because he's like having sex with her, he's like,
and you look like a dude. Yeah. That movie was a train wreck.
Yep.
And then Tim Heidecker, if you are around our age and suffered from insomnia in your youth, you have seen him on Adult Swim in some random.
I did not have to suffer from insomnia. I chose to watch it.
Oh God,
I love
really?
Tom Goes to the Mayor.
Oh,
it's like a weird, awkward, lo-fi, absurd. Dude, I fucking love that style of humor.
Tim and Eric, awesome show.
Yep.
Because it was like Adult Swim was like in the 11 o'clock was like Family Guy and shit like that, but once you got into the midnight 1 o'clock hour, you started getting like Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
You got the good shit.
You got the weird shit.
You got the good shit. You got the stuff that made me go, yeah.
But he's kind of like Peele too. He's a writer mainly for comedy.
Yeah, he's a writer producer. Yeah,
he does a lot of that kind of stuff.
And also not even just like in that weird vein of like what he does with for Tim and Eric, like kind of like he's done like a lot of weird like independent like those like dramedies. Yeah, it's like it's so like yeah. He's actually, I would recommend, we should do maybe one of his movies actually that he's written, I think.
And apparently he's I just thought this was funny. Apparently he's in Ant-Man and the Wasp, another Marvel Avengers movie, but I don't remember him in it. But that was one of his credits.
Oh, he's the
So like a boat captain.
yeah, he's the boat captain. Remember when Paul Rudd gets big, and there's the tourists on the.
Oh yeah.
He's the one that's like.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. He's also the one that's marrying.
In Bridesmaids.
Yeah. He's got a very strange career.
Yeah. And then jumping to the two children, what was it? The Wilsons? That's their name?
That sounds right.
Yeah. Okay. So the two children, Zora and Jason.
Mm-hmm.
Zora's played by
Shahadi.
Wright Joseph, and Jason is played by Evan Alex. Evan, nothing really stood out to me. He has some things, but also they're pretty young, so they're probably like kids in it.
I mean, look at Shahida.
Oh yeah, Shahida was in
Shahadi.
Shahadi was in Lion King as young Nala.
Oh, okay.
In the remake, and then she did a Hairspray production, a live TV Hairspray production. So I was like, oh, those are two things that are.
Yeah,
but the young man, nothing stood out to me for Evan.
I mean, I think he's just too young. Right
yeah, because he's I mean, this was made in 2019, and they're kids, so.
So there's the actors,
and then the two other young ladies, the other.
Oh, that's right, the twins.
Yeah, they're Emma from Friends.
They're Emma from Friends,
which I was just tripped out. I was like, oh yeah, I was like, Friends. There's no way she's not old enough to be in Friends. And I went, oh, there was a baby in Friends.
She's 100% old enough to be in Friends, which is also kind of weird when it's like, I just never thought there was an actual baby as Emma for a weird.
No, it clearly is, but I didn't think of it as a little person.
Yeah, no, right?
Thought of it as a prop.
I was thinking the same thing,
which is really messed up, but it just didn't click. I'm like, oh yeah, that was a real baby.
Because I was like, but Emma wasn't twins. Oh wait, no, child loss.
Yeah, that's the thing. And even it was Fallon that pointed it out. I was like, so yeah, I guess the two sisters are they twins? They kind of look different. And then she went, well, if she plays, like, she pointed it out.
Yeah.
Oh right, child laws. You needed to have twins.
Exactly.
Okay, got it.
Oh man, I'm so glad that we had that same train of thought.
I was like, oh yeah, that was a real human being.
All right, so
not a prop.
So yeah, one of the things I think this will kind of help lead into your reviews. This is a little bit of a quote from Jordan Peele, and then I have another quote that I want to say go into later. So this is on Wikipedia in the development section. It says, Peele has also said that the idea of the tethered living underground came to him as a teenager when he would take the train home from work. You get out of the train and you have to go down through an underpass and come out the other side. There's no one else there, just this dark American town. I'd come up and I'd look over to the other side and I'd picture seeing the tail end of myself going down the same tunnel to presumably emerge right near me 30 seconds later, and I can't be seen by that other version of me. It's kind of a weird train of thought to follow, but it's kind of interesting. He was thinking about this idea of another you, and it's, I don't know, it's just creepy as fuck. Just imagine walking by yourself and just thinking thinking that, I don't want to walk alone anymore.
It's actually because before tying into what you were, that quote, before we started recording, I was telling Jacob I read a really cool article, and that's from the article that I read.
As I was reading, I was like, oh, I wonder if this is what Tommy wanted to say. So I hope I didn't steal your thunder.
No. But I was just going to say there is an interview with Jordan Peele that I read on The Guardian by, who wrote this? Oh, Steve Rose. Okay. Wrote an article for The Guardian, and I'll put that on our website because it's just a really interesting read. Mm-hmm. And we'll get more into that. But yeah, it even starts off with, Jordan Peele begins by telling us a scary story. It's from when he was a teenager, and then goes into
what I said.
What you were saying. That's funny. That's what you're saying. I was like, motherfucker.
That's what happens when we do research
without communicating. But
do you have anything else? Was that the only one that you were thinking about bringing up?
Well, I have two other reviews about the movie itself, but when it came to him, well, let me ask: are we going to be talking about also the differences between Get Out and this, or?
I wasn't really planning. I mean,
If it goes that way, then I'll bring it up because it's unnecessary to bring up. If we're not
I mean,
gonna
I
do
just know like one of the things like at the very beginning of this article or this like section in on Wikipedia, after being dismayed with a genre confusing over his previous film Get Out, Peele opted to make his next film Us a full-on horror film.
Okay, then actually,
because I mean, Get Out, Jordan Peele has like he has flat out said like this is a horror story about the black experience, like how it's like being a black male going into a white community type thing.
Well, even Paul Assay at pluggedin.com, I took little bits out from, I read his review and took some that I thought were fitting. Like, quote, Us isn't quite the genre mashup that his previous film, the horror satire Get Out. This is more of a bloody, barrel-headed slasher flick.
Yeah.
And then I kind of tying into that too. He also was saying, Us explore themes of inequality, not so much as racial as social this time around, and American materialism, as well as offering a more esoteric reimagination of the duality of the soul.
Yeah.
Which I was like, because it does come off more of as like a slasher flick.
Yeah, no, it is just a legitimate just horror movie.
Yeah.
You know, it's terrifying. Especially like that scene, we'll get into it more, but like that scene when what's his name? Gabe is like leaving their friend's house and like what's his I can't remember the fucking characters' names. I'm glad you have this on the screen here. I can just look over, Josh. And Josh, like it's like the Tex, the evil Josh, is like making the noises and like chasing after him to the boat.
Mm-hmm.
It's just scary, dude.
Well, and also to tie into another review, and also because him and I picked, one of the reasons we picked this movie is because you and I only seen it once.
Yeah.
And we were like, well, maybe because especially it's a strange ending.
Yeah.
And it's one of those like, oh, maybe if we watch it again, we'll get something else out of it.
I mean, if you let's not get into the ending. So let's talk about the ending later.
Yeah, but I was like, I had one more review.
Oh yeah. Please.
Monica Castillo by Roger Ebert. Like The Shining, there are a number of different ways to interpret Peele's excellent new horror movie, Us. Every image seems to be a clue for what's about to happen or a stand-in for something outside the main story of a family in danger. Peele's film, which he directed, wrote, and produced, will likely reward audiences on multiple viewings, each visit revealing a new secret, showing you something you missed before a new light.
I really like that. That's very true.
And I was like,
yeah.
And again, I wrote this before watching it again, so I was like, let's see if that's actually the case with this.
No,
you know?
the angle, the little, it's like little Easter eggs. You know, like little things that it's like the first time you watch it, you're just like, oh, okay. But then you see it again, you're like, oh, and then you see it again, you're like, oh,
yeah,
man.
like Fight Club.
Yeah. And like the way that it's like shot as well, like specific camera angles, like that when they first get onto the beach and it's like over like a bird's eye view and it's like the family like walking across the beach and then their shadows is really like the focus that you're following.
It was shot amazingly.
Dude, yeah. It
was really cool.
Yeah. So yeah, with that, I'll get into my review. And actually, you know, before I get into my review, should I read this interpretations thing that I found on Wikipedia? It's another quote from Jordan Peele. And it starts off with one of the central themes. Mm-hmm. So, do you think I should read this first, or do you think I should read my review first?
Do that one first.
Do this first and then read my review?
Yeah. Do that.
Cool. Because I feel like my review is like halfway there. It's like kind of like my review has a little bit of what's been in one of those reviews, the second review, or no, the first review. I don't know. But yeah, no, it's like because as soon as just so everybody knows, I decided to write my review without reading any other reviews or like interpretations or anything. I watched the movie, I analyzed it myself. A few things that I looked into was like the Jeremiah 11:11. And like a couple like other things, but I didn't like look into specific interpretations. So when I read this, I was like, fuck, I was almost there. I almost had it. Anywho, okay, so this is from Jordan Peele. I'm not sure from what. Hold on a second. From the AV Club. Yeah. Oh wow, I never realized I could do that. This is from the AV Club. Cool. One of the central themes in Us is that we can do a good job collectively of ignoring the ramifications of privilege. I think it's the idea that we feel like we deserve I think it's the idea that we feel like we deserve comes, at the expense of someone else's freedom or joy. The biggest disservice we can do as a faction with a collective privilege like the United States is to presume that we deserve it, and that it isn't luck that has us born where we're born. For us to have our privilege, someone suffers. That's where the tethered connection, I think, resonates the most, is that those who suffer and those who prosper are two sides of the same coin. You can never forget that. We need to fight for the less fortunate. And I'm like, fuck. And now my review. Okay. Have you ever looked at your reflection and wondered, is that really me? Is that another version of me trapped in another dimension? Is that me evil? Good-natured? Or have I been staring at my reflection for too long because of the edible I just ate? The other idea, the idea of another you is explored in Jordan Peele's sophomore film, Us. The movie takes you through the horror of having our evil doppelgangers step out of the darkness and into the light with one mission: kill us and take our place hand in hand across America. One specific part of this movie stuck out to me, when Adelaide's other says, "We're Americans." In my opinion, this movie is about the darker side of ourselves as Americans, the violent and trapped reflection of ourselves that we refuse to acknowledge until it's too late. This idea of a tethered other isn't even about finding unity between ourselves, but rather a statement on how we are either one or the other, and only the strongest of the two sides will endure.
Sorry, I'm nodding my head.
Which I feel like I'm kind of there with that. Like as soon as you say privilege, I'm like, oh, yes. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he hit on the head, because even
I feel like it's just I'm kind of I'm there with it, just in a different, looking at it at a different way.
Yeah.
I'm pretty much describing privilege in a way with in another way without realizing I'm describing privilege.
Yeah.
I'm half-assedly describing privilege,
Well, yeah, because even, what's his name? Gabe. The whole, kind of feud that he has going on with Josh.
Yeah.
It's Josh has the new car, has the nice boat, the nice house, and Gabe lets it get under his skin that...
Yeah. Well, and then... Yeah.
Josh has more stuff.
And then even Kitty, Elizabeth Moss's character, when she's sitting on the beach with...
She's a total white wino.
Yeah, and she's like, oh, I had a little, I had a little bit work done, but and it's like, oh, you could get some done. Not that you need it.
Whore.
Yeah.
That's what she says.
Yeah, just fucking hey.
I do like when he is when Josh goes to give Kitty the wine. What do you say? I hate you?
Yeah.
That work? Maybe sorry, zoned out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, totally. Well, because even the Guardian interview I was talking about is that when Peele was basically because of the huge hit that Get Out became, he had a lot more time with this one, and he also had a bigger budget, which I thought was crazy because Get Out was $4 million. Us was $20 million.
Really?
Yeah, a huge jump.
That's got to be. I mean, there's the camera tricks that they had to pull in.
Yeah, just production value alone was ridiculous. But he was kind of nervous to do this plot because he didn't particularly with Get Out being such a racial theme. He didn't particularly really want us to be the focus of that.
Yeah, he didn't want. Yeah, he didn't want. This movie isn't about being the Black experience Get Out is.
Yeah,
I mean, I if I remember correctly, there was an interview. It was either with Conan or it was on the Tonight Show, and he's kind of talking about this. How he's saying Us isn't. It's just the lead actors are a Black family. That's just how it is. And he's also kind of says I'm only going to cast leads in my movies as Black families and Black people because they don't have that recognition in Hollywood.
Yeah.
And it's also me growing up, it's I watched all of these white families experience the same kind of shit that I was, it's why it's like race doesn't matter for this.
Well, yeah, because even like right here, he says, scores of people walk into this movie waiting for the racial commentary, and when it doesn't come in the form they're looking for, they'll be forced to ask themselves, why did I think a movie with black people had to be about blackness?
Yes. Yeah.
And he was kind of worried that by straying this other way into this more just movie about a family in this horror situation, that he might have gotten flack for it, I guess is like the
He was
word.
afraid he was going to get flack for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, fucking Hollywood, and especially, yeah.
Yeah. So I was just like, okay. And he even was saying too that he could have basically made Get Out 2.
Yeah.
He could have.
But he didn't want to.
But he didn't want to. He was like, no, I want to do original ideas and I want to do different things and branch out. And I was like, fuck yeah, dude. Like,
yeah, do it.
Do it. Like, that's great. Like, you could have basically, I don't want to say taken an easy way, but it is easy to make a sequel, I think, in a lot of ways.
Oh, yeah.
But like, be like, no, I want to do something completely original and this new idea. It's like, good. Yeah. Take the risk.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the time, the risk is what gives you the best reward, you know? At least, maybe not monetary-wise, but in an artistic way.
Yeah.
You know? So I just was
when you're an artist, you're making art for a masses, for like, for audience, for people to enjoy. But in a big way, you're also, you're doing it to show a piece of yourself. It's like, there is like a little bit, it's like, it is a little bit for you as well.
Yeah. Yeah, because even then, it's like you put more of your soul and your heart into it, and the outcome, even if it's not critically acclaimed, it'll be better, and you can see that in any kind of art, whether it be music, media like this, But yeah, I just thought that was interesting.
So I guess we can move into the movie itself.
Yeah.
Maybe it's. Yeah. I really liked the opening, text.
As soon as that started running, I went, oh yeah, I hate this. I was like, why? I'm like, it's scary. It's so unnerving. The choir and then the drums come in. It's like really does the job. I think it even stressed out Big.
Oh really?
Yeah, because he started getting up and like walking around looking at the window and crying. I was like I'm wondering if that, because
oh yeah, no,
I wonder if he's picking up on it. I don't know, but yeah, he's stressed out by it.
How he's like describing how like there are like millions of underground passages abandoned like across America.
Yeah, service tunnels and stuff like that.
That are just there doing nothing. And just like, okay. Mm-hmm. And now let's get into the movie. It's like, and now what does that have to do with this? Because then it's like Hands Across America, 1986.
What is going on with you?
Just like carbonation.
Yeah, so it does like a flashback of the whole Hands Across America, which I had to look up. I couldn't remember what that whole thing was.
I feel like there was another time they were like there was talk about trying it again, like the 90s, I want to say. But
like a food drive.
I mean, that was the year I was born, so like I definitely don't remember. But it was also it was a real there's a good little nod for Jordan Peele on like his missing scene for that like as it like slowly zooms into the into the TV, kind of setting like 1986. How like the VHS is around.
I was trying to read those Goonies,
Nightmare on Elm Street. I can't remember the other ones. Did I write them down?
No, I tried to, but anytime I paused it, it made the screen go so dark that I couldn't really read them. So I kept trying to like read.
I mean, hey, it was VHSs and it was an old school TV, and so it's 1986.
Yeah.
And the movie does a really good job of kind of setting up this mystery of a horror, so with a young Adelaide and her parents, and it's like clearly her parents kind of have their own problems and whatnot, but it's more about like because of their problems is what makes Adelaide be able to like wander away, and wander into I don't even know, like it was like a weird like old fun house type thing.
Yeah, it was a fun house. It was called, what was it called again? I don't remember.
It changed names, I want to say, from 86 to modern time.
It was Vision Quest originally, and then it turned to Wizard's Quest.
Yeah, Merlin's
Quest. So yeah, Merlin or Wizard.
Merlin's Forest or something.
Is that what it was?
I don't know. It had Merlin in it.
Merlin. It was so then it must have been Merlin's Forest.
Yeah,
if you're getting Forest from there.
I don't know if I'm getting for it. I remember Merlin.
Well, also something that kind of stood out to me too is that we're not really. So they are on a boardwalk in Santa Cruz.
Yes. By the beach. I guess that's what a boardwalk is.
Yeah. Boardwalk in the middle of the national forest.
I actually never put that together. I just realized what a boardwalk was.
But yeah, so there's like carnival games and all that. But what I thought was really funny is did you notice when Addie's mom came up and said, "Hey, they're filming a movie over there"?
Oh yeah.
Did you put together Santa Cruz Boardwalk 1986?
Goonies? No, I don't know.
Lost Boys. Santa Cruz came out in 1987.
Oh shit.
That's like the only thing, right? They got to be just like a fun little horror.
Yeah, no, it's
Easter egg.
Yeah, it's probably because Jordan Peele also really likes to do that.
Yeah. So yeah, I was like, oh, fucking Lost Boys, and I looked it up. I was like, yep, 1987, Santa Cruz. But anyways,
cool.
Yeah, I just thought it was fun. So yeah, it goes through and it's showing that obviously the mother and father don't get along. It kind of gives the feeling the dad's an alcoholic, right?
Yeah, I mean he's
a drunk at least. He's buzzed at this family field trip.
Yeah, he's got something. I mean, I don't want. Yeah, they're setting up like
problems, turmoil in the marriage.
Yeah, exactly. So when she wanders off into this fun house, it's just tense watching it happen. Like the way that it's shot, just it's like you feel like something bad's gonna happen.
Yeah, and I mean it's a pretty good. House of Mirrors is always a fun horror trope. Yeah. Look at It Chapter 2, which also came out this year. There's that entire funhouse scene.
Yeah,
which is terrifying. And there's just something, I don't know if that's like instilled in us as from just being kids watching movies and bad things always happen in a House of Mirrors, or it's also just the fact that you're surrounded by reflections of yourself.
I mean, have you ever been lost in a House of Mirrors?
I've never been in one, so I don't have any personal like.
I mean, it's fun for like 30 seconds until you're like, I don't know where to go, until you run into your face.
Yeah, I would do it. I would do it now. I'm curious because I'm like, I really don't. As someone also that's never been in a House of Mirrors, I find it completely unnerving, and I don't really. Like I said, I don't know if it's because I've seen so many movies where that's happened, or if it's something else. I don't know.
There's something with like the whole like pageantry of circus that was initially kind of like, or carnival, I should say. That's like was initially the kind of innocent that has that
degraded into.
I don't want to say degraded, but like definitely. I don't know where I'm going with this. Let's not.
Okay, moving on. So she's in the House of Mirrors.
Yeah, I mean,
gets lost.
I mean, yeah. So we don't like spend too much time spending on each moment. Like she sees herself. Yeah. She sees her tethered, essentially, and it scars her. And then we jump forward to. Well, then we get kind of a little bit of like how like her parents don't know what's going on with her, why she won't talk, and all this stuff.
Yeah, she has PTSD.
Yeah. And then we quickly just get it into her as an adult, present day, with her family.
Married, 2 kids.
Yeah. And they're going to, like, their vacation home.
Yeah, their beach house.
Yeah, their beach house.
Their summer beach house.
That's right, yeah. And, I mean, everything's just kind of, like, fine, it sets up, like, the family, the younger brother that annoys the sister that's on their phone. The second time
throws in track conveniently.
That's actually just kind of like a setup of like where that's gonna like that's a foreshadowing.
I know, but it's like I was like, you brought it up for
a specific reason.
Yeah.
But this time watching it, like seeing like how Gabe Wilson acts, Winston Duke's character, I definitely feel like Jordan Peele wrote that. That's him.
He's such a dork.
Exactly.
He's cute. He's cute in the family setting.
Yeah.
Then he gets annoying in the horror setting. You're like, dude, for real.
Dude, when he brings up Home Alone, and then Hadley's like, did you really just reference Home Alone right now?
Yeah.
And then the kids are like, what's Home Alone?
What's Micro Machines? That took a second for me, like digging my head to be like, what were micro? Oh, right, they're like, little miniature Hot Wheels.
Yeah, dude, they were fun as fuck.
I was like, oh yeah, that's what those are.
But yeah, so they get to the summer house and they're kind of unpacking this, like their whole family stuff. And then Gabe brings up that their friends, Josh and Kitty, want to meet up at Santa Cruz Beach.
At the boardwalk.
At the boardwalk, and that's when they don't call her Adelaide through the entire movie.
They call her Addie mainly.
Addie, that's what like that she's like, oh, she doesn't want to go.
Which, yeah, like she obviously has still some strong feelings about the situation she was in when she was a little girl.
Oh, and also when she was a little girl, she saw that guy with the Jeremiah 11:11 post, which actually that quote has nothing to do with this movie, in my opinion.
Yeah, it does.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
From the Bible?
Yeah. Did you read it?
I did, but I mean, I don't know. I have a hard time interpreting the Bible.
Well, yeah, so like Addie...
Do you have the quote?
Yeah, I have it.
Riddle? Yeah. What is it?
Oh, okay. So Jeremiah 11:11 is a kind of like a theme that you see throughout the movie, and it's a Bible verse that goes, "Therefore, thus off to a good start. Okay. Therefore, thus saith the Lord, Behold, I will bring evil upon them, which they shall not be able to escape, and though they shall cry unto me, I will not hearken unto them."
The only thing about that really...
And hearken means listen, I didn't know
Yeah. Yeah, that's the only thing is like, I will bring evil upon them.
It's just foreshadowing that evil will come and I will forsaken you. No help will come. No help comes.
Yeah. Okay.
It's just like a heads up. Like
I think it's just like kind of. I feel like it's like when you start using like biblical like references like that, I expect the movie to have like more of a biblical like theme to it, not just like just like a like. I feel like the quote's kind of like cast into it.
I see what you're saying, but I also think it's just to add a layer of tension, because also they never tell you what that quote is.
Well, and like really the only like the quote just kind of essentially like it's like there's all of this thing of like the reflection, like the like 11 11 11, the small spider and the big spider, the like circle under the circle, the twins, like there's like all of these like
well then that's what even Addie brings up, the coincidence thing.
Yeah, exactly. So like that's why I was and I read the quote and I'm like, well, I just feel like in a way, like Jordan Peele just kind of like wanted to, like, it was just like, it just fit, Yeah. It could have been like John 11:11, but no, Jeremiah is 11, is book 11. So it has to be Jeremiah. I can't believe I remember that.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I thought it was like fine. And I like me a good creepy Bible quote in a horror movie.
Yeah, fair. So yeah, then they go to Santa Cruz on Addie's wanting to and whatnot, and we already kind of talked about like the interaction that they had there with Kitty and Josh.
Yeah, with the wine and
and Jason, young boy, he goes off to the bathroom and he kind of like runs into one of the first of the tethereds in a weird way.
Well, even on their drive to the beach,
they see
the first victim.
That's the original Jeremiah 11:11 guy. And Addie kind of it's like she has like a moment of like seeing him, and it's like you can tell like she's almost recognizing him, but you can't really. It doesn't really like have a flashback like oh, that's the guy, but it's like definitely there's a connection because they made eye contact type thing. And like the entire time, like Addie is just like she's uneased being on the boardwalk.
Yeah, and I also found it weird that the husband didn't know about this whole thing until this.
Yeah, kind of the same. Yeah. Well, there was a moment when it was like when she's like, "I want to go, I want to leave." When they're in the bedroom, I thought it was like they come here every year.
That's what I'm saying. They have like a beach house. Don't you think you'd be like bring it up?
But I think this is the first time they've gone to like the Santa Cruz boardwalk, and it's the boardwalk itself and going to Santa Cruz because they had to drive into town.
Yeah, but I mean, wouldn't you also like, I don't know, I just thought it was weird. I'm like, you got married to this person, had 2 kids, and you didn't bring up, hey, if we're gonna buy a house near the Santa Cruz boardwalk.
They didn't buy it. It was, I wanted to say it was like their parents. It was like her parents, like hand down or something.
Oh, okay, that's fair. Okay, but like still, wouldn't you just, I don't know, I just thought that's just a weird thing. Like I get, you can still have secrets with your significant other, but when it comes to something like
But she didn't even. Did she? Yeah, she finally did share that.
Yeah, after Jason had his almost like disappearance scare.
That's right. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a thing that she just doesn't. It's trauma to her. She doesn't want to talk. She's thought she'd move past it, and then all of a sudden Santa Cruz boardwalk comes up, and it's like all comes back.
And then also Jason goes missing.
Yeah.
True. Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
As I defend this part of the movie that I didn't even really like.
Yeah, wait, what?
So this is, I mean, when they get back to the house and they're all kind of like settling up for bed, that's when the fucking horror begins. And then all of a sudden, Jason comes and like, there's a family at the end of the driveway.
There's a monster outside my window. Can I have a glass of water? It was that moment.
Yeah. There's a monster in my closet.
Name the movie I just quoted.
Coming.
Name the movie I just quoted.
The one about
the monster outside my window. Can I have a glass of water?
I want to say Monster Squad. And what is it?
Signs.
Oh, that's right.
The little girl.
Oh, yeah. Well, I was actually thinking Monster Squad because that's kind of like there's almost an exact quote from that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't
When the
seen
mummy's in the
Monster
kid's
Squad
closet.
forever. Oh, funny. Yeah, but so
I
call them,
that plays out a lot different. Never mind.
I call them the shadow.
They're the tethered.
She calls them whatever. I call them the shadow rather than.
I was calling them the others when I was
just because of what Red says when she describes their link.
Like when the monologue at the end?
Yeah, like the girl got blah blah blah, the shadow got blah blah blah.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I think she was just being cryptic, but she flat out says in there that we are tethered together. We are the tethered.
Yeah, but I thought that was more of the link she's talking about, not the actual what they are. Whatever, it doesn't matter. We're just
well, I mean, in this they just have different names.
Yeah, no, but even if you watch it with subtitles, it doesn't have their names. It says Evil Josh.
Oh yeah,
Evil Kitty. I actually looked up all their names too, and a lot of them have some really cool meanings.
Oh really?
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, so the little boy, what's his name again?
Pluto or Jason.
Jason.
And then he's Pluto when the tethered, the other.
Well, Jason points out the family, and then the dad, Gabe, does the classic. They're standing as silhouettes, just the four of them at the end of the driveway.
Yeah, like hands in hand.
Yeah. Well, I was just gonna keep that, and we'll talk about them as they start to come up.
Okay.
The others.
Yeah, I thought you said you were gonna say. I thought you were gonna explain their names.
I will once they.
Oh.
Well, so what? What's the confusion?
Where do we lose our connection?
We were untethered.
Okay, so they're at the end of the driveway, and they start trying to call the police. Gabe goes up, he tries to get him out, then he grabs a bat, tries to intimidate them, and then all of a sudden they just split up.
Yeah. Well, the two children run off into the foliage.
Yeah.
One gets on all hands and knees.
Yeah.
And runs off one direction. One of them just sprints the other direction. That was terrifying.
And then Abraham just starts coming up.
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh, get the fuck out of here!"
Well, that's why, going back to the biblical thing, Abraham, father of many nations, is a very pivotal biblical character, and he's the father.
Okay,
which that was kind of okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they basically just start trying to break into the house, right? That's
they break into the house. They get into the house. They get the Wilson family rounded up together, and then all of a sudden, just Pluto lights the fireplace,
and Pluto is the Greek god of the underworld.
Pluto was technically Hades in Roman mythology.
In Greek, what?
Oh yeah,
yeah,
because
Pluto and Hades.
Oh, I never knew that. I didn't know that was Pluto. Oh, cool.
So I was like, oh, okay. That was because I also, when I started reading the names, I was like, there's got to be a reason they named these characters specifically what they were.
So okay, just tell me what it is.
Okay, so Abraham the father.
Yeah.
Let's just do the main because the other ones are whatever.
Yeah.
Umbre is plural for Umbra, which shadow of darkness.
Okay, that's Zora.
Yeah, which is Zora. Pluto. God of the underworld. Red, I don't know.
I think it's just because
she wears red. I don't know. Red, color of passion and hatred. Yeah. I couldn't really think of that. My favorite one is one of the twins' name is Nyx, which means nothing.
Nyx and Io.
And Io is another Greek mythology, a woman that was sought after by Zeus.
Yeah.
Basically. But I was just kind of I don't get Tex at all in Wayland. Because I know Tex is a type of mathematical formula.
Also, what character is that? Russell Thomas.
Oh, that's the parents.
Oh,
Russell.
Oh, that's right, because they have their tethered at the end as well.
Yeah, so that they're just. But yeah, it's got Mantine II, who's Black Manta. from Aquaman.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then Diop. Anna Diop is a fucking Titans. What's her name?
Titans?
Starfire. What's her name?
Oh, Starfire.
No, what's her name?
Like, what do you mean?
Kira? No.
Oh, like the actual character's name?
Yeah, what is her name?
Oh, God, what is it? Let's not worry about it.
Yeah. But I just we didn't. There.
She's Starfire?
Yeah.
Oh no! How did I mean? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know how I missed those.
Well, because also you only see really their faces for a brief second throughout.
Yeah.
You don't ever really get a good shot of them.
Yeah.
Like I didn't really until I knew it was him and I saw him turn around and I went, oh, totally.
Yeah.
But it didn't register.
Okay, cool. All right. Yeah. Let's kind of. Okay, it's cool. So we know the meetings of it.
Yeah.
Sorry. But that's really cool. Like that. There was a lot of thought put into that. You only really hear I think you only hear the names of like Pluto, Umbre, and Abraham like once, and that's when Red is
introducing
them. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you don't even hear the names of Tex, Dahlia, Wayland, Eartha, Io, or Nyx.
Any of them.
Yeah.
Like I said in the subtitles, it just says evil so and so, which I thought was pretty funny.
Which I think, if anything, it might be more of like Jordan Peele gave them names as like
it's on the screenplay,
like they're tethered ones, but like that gives the actor information on like
kind of like a
it's like this is your character,
this is what they're like,
yeah,
like, this is their identity,
this is their like they're named after like Pluto, you're named after the Greek or the god of the underworld,
like even as you're directing
fire,
you could be like enter Pluto.
Yeah, so like if you think like like Kitty, like Elizabeth Moss, like Kitty's other is Dahlia, like the Black Dahlia murder,
Well, yeah, and like in a Victorian era. Oh, there's a microphone. In Victorian era, had like a meaning of like everlasting bond.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so it's like
okay.
take what you want from that, and then Tex, it's like take what you want from whatever Tex means.
I'm really curious about the Tex one. That one really, and Wayland.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's something to it, but
there's Wayland. That name sounds familiar, but
you think an alien?
Am I? I am, aren't I? Yeah, I 100% am. God damn! Thank God. Okay. So they essentially is like they're the tethered. They're there to kill them.
As like a grand revenge scheme.
Yeah. So then it's like it kind of seems like each one's supposed to like kill like their other tethered, but it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, it seems. Yeah, it kind of gives that feeling, but then they kind of kill whoever gets in their way, which I thought was kind of weird.
I mean, it just makes sense because their plan is just to
kill the others. Yeah, the I don't know, the tethered.
To kill the privileged.
Yeah. But yeah, at this point, so basically, there's a whole horror scene of the shadows, the others getting into the house, and then that finally goes into, it kind of gives you the why this is happening moment with Red, Addie's other. And what's your feeling on the voice?
I understand why.
Can you give me why? Why?
Because of the ending when you find out the switch.
Spoiler alert. What? Okay, what does that have to? What do you mean?
I mean, do you want to get into that?
No. Okay,
I mean, also really quick. Yeah. Okay, so let's just go through like quick, like kind of like plot point, how it's like, Abraham and Gabe go to the boat, and Gabe's also injured at this point. He got his leg fucking pretty much broken by Abraham with the bat.
Mm-hmm.
And they have their kind of like their battle, and Gabe luckily fucking kills Abraham with like the boat propeller.
Dude, how he bashed his, that was badass.
Yeah. Zora and Umbre kind of have like a race type thing, it seems like, which the filming for that was really cool.
That was cool.
Because I
think she was my favorite other.
She was
Umbre.
scary.
Yeah, Umbre, she was cool.
And then Pluto and Jason, they kind of like, Jason has like a little place that he likes to hide and play and whatnot. Jason's able to like trap Pluto in there, which gets Red away from Addie. And Addie, like, Red's about to, like, crush Addie's head through a fucking, like, glass table.
Yeah, even says, Red even says she wants to take her time with this family, which also kind of gives them the ability to escape, because the other family, when their others show up, they're murdered on the spot. Yeah. But it kind of makes sense because Red's like the ringleader and she's the one planning. She's the one that wants to really enjoy. Yeah. Which I was like, oh, okay. I'm like, why didn't the other...
I mean, this is kind of, in a weird way, a revenge story. Yeah. You know, so... So Addie gets out with Jason, and they get to the boat, meeting up with Zora again, and Gabe has the boat, and they take the boat across to Kitty and Josh's place, the rich friends, which they get just fucking murdered by their others like immediately.
And I thought Josh was a good other too.
No, that's what I'm saying.
He had a good shriek.
Yeah.
He had a really good, like, clicky, he was cool.
Really, really good. And then the Wilsons now have to kill these people, these others.
That was actually probably one of my favorite scenes.
Which one?
The one in the...
And just in the entire part of in the house?
In that house. I think it was really cool also because fuck the police.
Oh, yeah. No, the soundtrack of all that stuff happening at that point was really good. Because it was that for... what was the first one?
Beach Boys.
Yeah, the Beach Boys. As they're getting murdered. And then call the police. Call the police. Playing Fuck the Police.
NWA. Yeah. And then, that was pretty cool.
And so they get them kind of all killed and taken care of. And they're like, more stuff ensues and through this whatnot. But they finally start leaving with the friend's house with their car. And they're trying to leave Santa Cruz, but they get pretty much like tricked and blocked in by Pluto and Red.
Yeah, and also like something that I thought was interesting that when Pluto and Jason are in the closet together, Pluto is the only one that still mimics Jason like a mirror. Yeah. Which
Abraham did a lot with Gabe as well.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, I remember when you first kind of have them like face to face, Gabe like fixed his glasses and Abraham did the same thing. Like,
really?
Pushed up his glasses. Yeah.
Well, no, but Abraham took the glasses from...
And then took the glasses. Yeah, he did afterwards.
Oh. Okay, but like... Yeah, I guess so. Like that's
because Abraham's blind. Like since Gabe's supposed to wear glasses, Abraham technically is supposed to wear glasses. So when Abraham takes the glasses, he can now see.
Yeah, but I mean, also, I just want to say that the only difference is that Pluto and
getting fucking confusing.
Pluto and Jason he does mirror.
Yeah,
like completely, like with him. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Abraham was mimicking. Pluto was mirroring. Yeah, which I just was like, why is he the only one that's actually like mirroring him?
Yeah, I don't know. I noticed that as well. Maybe there's a weird connection of it. Just like
he's a young tether
because it's Addie's kid and like the whole Addie Red thing that like that's good,
that's a good point. Yeah,
and like maybe even like Zora and Umbre kind of had the same thing, but Umbre gets killed pretty early on.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah. And through this, you start to like they reveal like with like a news sequence that all the other like tethered or others are starting to like just do the hands across America thing like 1986. They're just like
after brutally murdering
after they like murder like everybody on the boardwalk and whatnot.
Yeah, and also where are the goddamn National Guard in this whole situation? There's just bodies littering everywhere.
The National Guard are probably fucking getting killed too.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Is it happening all over America?
They show that at the end.
It's long.
That final shot. It's still going across. And then you got smoke coming up, and you see them going. You got smoke, and then helicopters.
So it's the whole. It's America.
It's America.
Yeah, hands across.
They're Americans.
Okay,
this is about American privilege.
Okay, so that makes more sense then. I'm like, where the fuck is up? Where's the people in charge?
They're getting slashed out.
Yeah, for real.
So Addie ends up kind of like going down the rabbit hole because all the rabbits. And I think that was kind of a little bit on purpose as well. Like the rabbits going out, and like I don't know. There's also like rabbits get cloned, don't they? And it's like
we're getting to the whole ending. That's where you lose me.
So I do want to say like I really liked this movie a lot, And then it gets to this ending, and like the ending has like a beautiful like dance fight choreography.
The ending is visually cool.
Yeah.
Plot wise, you're kind of like,
it's kind of a long monologue from Red about the tethered and how she's like the chosen one of the tether,
because she's just born different.
Which then you find out lie later at the end, which I think that ruins this movie in my opinion. That ending. I mean, let's just talk about it.
Okay, spoiler alert.
Yeah, spoiler. Like, I mean, fuck, if you're listening, but yeah. But at when it is revealed that when Addie and Red first saw each other in 1986 in that fun house,
Addie choked out.
Whatever, the tethered choked out.
The shadow
choked out the other one. Drug her down into what is supposedly some weird like
cloning facility. Yeah. In all honesty, this entire episode of this podcast is kind of really about this scene.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
Yeah. And then traps the original down there, and then goes up to live a normal life. She swaps.
Yeah.
Which is why she can't talk, because these tethered don't talk. They show that through the entire thing. It's like they make noises, they grunt at each other. Like they don't know how, they
weren't taught how to speak.
They weren't taught how to speak. So that's what I was talking about. I was like, that's why Red, like, the talking. It's like she knew how to talk. She learned once a little bit how to talk, and then she never spoke again with anybody.
But like,
and then
wouldn't you still talk to these others?
I don't know. Maybe her just vocal cords weren't growing. I mean, it just added a spooky thing to it.
Yeah, I guess if you're not, you're so young, like, you're not using it.
It's also kind of like that reverse. Like if Addie now, who was the other, like then now living in this world of privilege, has the privilege to learn how to talk and use their vocal cords and actually, communicate, while Red, in the place of no privilege, who had a little bit of like knowing how to talk, now loses that, and now it's a struggle to work.
Yeah, I guess so. I still found it really distracting.
It is very distracting, and it's more of I definitely feel like it was more of just like a choice, probably through director and actor, to just kind of like make it creepier. I mean, at the end of the day, we're watching a horror movie.
Yeah, you can't.
It's like there's things that are being chosen like because it's supposed to be unsettling.
Yeah,
it's supposed to scare us. And then so it's just like it's like revealed that happened, and so then Red, who is the actual like untethered, the
actual shadow person,
who then like since she was not the shadow person underneath, that's why they've discovered that she was special. Like there was some type of switch, and this is the whole revenge plot of coming back to the surface to reclaim what was hers,
to finally live their time under the sun.
And like the only thing that she has like in connection is like from 1986, the Hands Across America.
So she uses that as her like political statement, not political statement, her
mission,
her movement.
Yeah
is the red jumpsuits and
yeah.
But I think about that. It's kind of like that kind of makes sense. It's
yeah, I mean, if it would have been like maybe like that shirt was dropped by Addie as she like ran away, and then Red like used that like as like the figurehead type thing.
You know what she did though.
No, yeah, but like as opposed to like doing the body switch. I think the body switch thing is the thing that I think
an unnecessary twist.
It's an unnecessary twist that I think hurts the narrative of the story, and it doesn't
add anything.
It just makes you scratch your head and like it makes you go like, oh, one of them survived, but what does that mean? What does that matter?
Yeah,
she's gonna now start killing all of these people? No, because she just defended all of them.
Yeah, and then also the son knows.
But how?
But that's what it implies, right?
Kinda, yeah.
That's when he's staring at her and like.
Unless it's like, oh, I'm one of you too. what the hell was that stare? And then he lowers the mask. Like, it's, I don't know. Someone fucking explain it to me, because I didn't fully get it, and I don't think it was. I think Jordan Peele had made his statement well beyond that point that this wasn't needed.
Fowl is convinced that Addie knew about the switch the entire movie, which I disagree with.
That's also like maybe, I don't know.
I don't fucking know, man.
It's like
knock shit over.
like if she knew about it, I mean, it would make sense. Like that would be why she didn't want to go back to Santa Cruz. She was afraid of like,
that's what she was saying. That's why she's so scared, because this other might come back for you. But
or maybe like there was something where like she like through therapy went through like convinced like, oh, like no, like I was like the real me is down there or something, but then the doctors are like, no, it was all like a bad dream type thing, like, you know, you are you know. She went like and just convinced herself that it wasn't, you know, but she's convinced that she saw a little girl, but maybe just blocked out that whole the swapping of it.
Well, yeah, and I mean, going back to like, I also agree with you about the whole that being like the super kind of an unnecessary twist.
Yeah.
The only other thing that kind of took me out of it was that whole underground facility thing with the bunnies and.
No, yeah, I mean that's also fucking like that's like out of left field as well. But also, I don't know, just like I can kind of forgive that for like it just being like a weird horror film. I just wish there would have been more explanation of it. Like,
I wanted them
Red
to
does a
explain
good explanation. Like, it explains that. I mean, it explains like they are essentially clones.
Yeah, no, the explanation makes sense, but the facility, the surroundings in they're in, then doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
So it's one of those, either really explain it and not over, I guess over explain it to make it very clear, or leave it completely, in a sense, ambiguous so we can make up our own ending.
Yeah.
Like Inception.
Yeah.
There are two sides. Like, he's awake, he's not awake. And then people have their points of why. This is kind of like...
It's like, it's like this movie has a 6.0 at IMDb. I think if this weird, like, twist ending is, like, wasn't part of it, I think this movie would have, like, a 7 point something.
I give it a 7, personally. Like, and I did math for it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I did. I'll show that to you later.
Like, I think a 6.8 is very fitting. But yeah, you take out that twist that Red and Addie switch places as kids.
That was really, that felt like a shock value.
I felt like it took it. I mean, I guess like going into like a traditional horror, like not a traditional horror, but like that some horrors where it's like, whoa, but did you really win? Did they really get out of it, you know, free? Like at the end of Nightmare on Elm Street Part 1, maybe this is a callback to that. I don't know. Like at the end of the first Nightmare on Elm Street, Heather like gets into the car with all of her friends and they like drive off. But like then Freddy Krueger's like takes control of the car, then like rips her mom through the like window on the front door, you know, signifying that she didn't defeat Freddy. Freddy's still there and still gonna like haunt your dreams.
Yeah,
you know. So like I don't know, but the tethered are just across America holding hands.
Yeah,
like what does it mean? Like, oh God, yeah. I need
Jordan Peele. What do you mean? Boop.
What's in the box?
Yeah, that's the thing. I guess that comes to the overview of I really enjoyed this movie.
Yeah.
Until the end. Mm-hmm. And the end, I like, and there was one of those like with the interviews, like you watch it over and over again.
I do like really I got 5 on it. Orchestration.
When I first watched it, I didn't realize it was I got 5 on it.
Oh, really?
I didn't until the second time around.
I mean, no. When I was rewatching it, I was like, oh, I forgot about this. Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, it was really good.
And like it's like a dance fight dance fight that they do.
Yeah,
and like it is so good.
And her movement, like Red's
movement,
stiff.
like stiff, but like fluid movement, and it's like kind of like is it intertwining with like the ballet? No, that was during the monologue. Mm-hmm. Like there's an intertwine of like this ballet during this monologue. There's a lot of movement in the last 10, 15 minutes of the movie, actually, when you think about
like
it.
the most movement in the movie. No, because even then, the Wilsons in the entire fucking situation they're in are moving so goddamn slow. Yeah. You have serial killer clones chasing you. Fucking move it. Move it. That drove me nuts, especially fucking Gabe, dude. Ugh.
Well, he was limping the entire time.
Yeah, still, he's like, someone got the keys? Like, oh, you're killing me, bro.
Also, like, why didn't they even try to find the keys before they left?
Yeah, but apparently, Peele did that kind of on purpose. He was trying to make it more in a situation like this.
People aren't thinking straight.
Yeah, clearly, people want, you know, we can all be like, idiot, you should have done this. It's like,
get to the car. Cool. Who's got the keys? Fuck.
Yeah, you know, it's like actually people. If you're in a panic moment, you're gonna forget shit and you're gonna fuck up. Yeah, but I was like, fine, whatever.
I thought you had the keys. What? No.
Why would I have the keys? But yeah, it's like, yeah, it's just the ending. Like, I love everything about this movie until the end, and then I'm like I was solid 8, and then the last 15 minutes, I'm like, never mind.
I recommend it to people.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, you know, it's like it's a really good watch, and especially like it is a good like statement on privilege when you really look at like a metaphor for privilege. Like really good, especially as Americans. Like that's I just that line when she says that every single time, like it's so it rings in a really good way
when she says we're Americans.
Yeah.
Well, then also just kind of interesting too is that this is going to be part of like the Peele universe that he's planning on doing.
Interesting.
He's going to do 4 movies.
Like, so it's like Get Out, the first one.
Get Out, the first one.
Us.
And that interview that I would put it, like I said, I'm going to put it on our website and you should read it.
The Guardian one, right?
The Guardian one. They asked if there is any kind of connection. He's like, basically, I'm not going to confirm or deny, but the tethering and the underneath, is that what it's called in Get Out? When they put them in the spell.
Oh, yeah.
The underneath.
Like, yeah, yes.
He's like, they are and are not connected.
Fuck you.
I knew you'd have that reaction. But yeah, so he's going to do his own little like horror mini universe.
Cool. I can dig that.
Which I was like, cool. That could be very interesting. Or it could be a complete disaster.
Yeah, who knows?
It's totally up in the air at this point. But yeah, I mean, I give it a 7 out of 10. That's mine.
I mean, a 6.8 might as well be a 7, you know?
No, because that's a 6.8. Well, because like I said, I did a little math thing. I'll show it to you later.
Yeah, I think. I mean, do you have any? I mean, I feel like
Yeah, I mean, sorry, we kind of talked too much in the beginning, but it's like also it's okay. Like a couple things. Like yeah, you should watch it because it's a good.
There's a lot of stuff that like. I mean, I just looked at my notes, like the rabbits. I kind of did bring up the duality of the stuff.
I was gonna say, like visually, it's great.
Oh yeah,
for a horror movie, it's fun.
Mm-hmm.
It's gory, but not porn gore. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's not like
it's not like Hostel.
It's not like Eli Roth stuff.
Yeah, it's not torture porn.
Yeah, but I feel like the most like gore in the entire movie really is in Josh and Kitty's house, the rich friend's house.
Yeah, the Tylers. Yeah, they're
because like killing those others was brutal.
Well, it's also brutal too because like I was saying, they didn't even have a moment to react to what was happening.
No, yeah,
they just came in and it was
yeah.
There was no like conversation, or they all just came out of the woodwork and just ambushed them. Basically,
it's like kind of what would really happen in kind of real life if some people are trying to kill you. They wouldn't just. I mean, unless, I don't know.
They most likely wouldn't have an evil monologue. They would just come and do it, And, there's just, like, things that don't make sense, but whatever.
Maybe it'll make sense to you. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe you'll like the nonsensical ending.
Like leather driving gloves, red jumpsuits.
Only
and
on
shears.
One hand.
Yeah, and shears.
And that's just kind of uniform. I don't know.
I know, but where'd they get the shears? They're in a cloning facility underground. Are they doing a lot of sewing?
There's something about like the whole like hand in hand.
Nothing, no reaction.
Yeah, sorry. There's something about the hand in hand, like that shirt. It's like they're hand in hand, and they look like the hand in hand puppets. So it's kind of like they're cutouts of themselves.
Ooh, I feel like that's reaching, but
I don't know.
That's a better.
I'm pulling at something.
Yeah, that's a better better theory than I have. Thank you, God. That was hard to get out. That was a better theory than I have.
All right, I think we should be wrapping it up.
But yeah, casting great, music's really great.
The music's fucking phenomenal.
Filmography and
not only just
cinematography.
like the soundtrack is awesome and fun, but like just the score. The score.
The score is really good.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we definitely say watch it. I wouldn't skip this one if you haven't seen it.
Give it a watch. Tell us what you think.
Any announcements or anything you want to tell them before we say bye-bye?
I don't know. Do you have anything you want to say?
No, not really.
Save it all for banter next week.
Yeah, join us next week for a banter
where we'll talk about things.
Talk about stuff.
Why are we trailing off so hard?
Because we don't want it to end. There is more I would like to talk about this, but we're getting too long. But
yeah.
Well,
maybe we can talk a little bit on it next week. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Okay. We'll see. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. This is Tommy.
And this is Jacob.
This is Tommy and Jacob's mixtape.
Yeah. And like, subscribe, share, that stuff.
Yeah. Please do.
This is our mixtape. Have a good one, guys. Bye.
Good night.